Yo guys, welcome back. Today we are going to do an in-depth prep guide for Ines, now that we can get past the speculation and actually know a few things about her. First, I want to cover her skills, and I set up this nice little graphic here so you can read along and keep track. Her passive ability is called Plasma Vibration. Higher max MP equals higher skill crit hit rate. Crit hits on enemies in conductor state generate currents that chain the mobs. Her first ability is Chain Lightning, and it is singular. Throw lightning bolts that drive enemies into conductor state. Additional damage is dealt to enemies in conductor state. Second ability is Conductor, and it is tech. Deals damage to mobs with electric coils. Additional damage to mobs in conductor state. Third ability is Discharge, and it is singular. Gathers and releases electric to her front. This is a charge type skill. You can maximize damage with longer charging. And her fourth ability is Snare Hunter, and it is tech. Creates a thunder snare. Throw a plasma acceleration coil. Has a large radius with damage over time. When using the skill, Ines becomes overconducted to give a movement speed increase and a current damage increase. So with that being said, I can see her mobbing damage being the tech-based abilities, with her better bossing abilities still up in the air in my opinion, as whether it will be singular or tech. As for substat rolls, I will be looking for cooldown duration with crit hit rate, crit hit damage for mobbing. As for bossing, Colossus damage is obviously a must, and for a second stat, probably crit hit damage is going to be a safe bet. Currently this week, there is no electric tech reactor farm locations in the open world, but with Vash's site, we can check in on next week. So currently on the screen, we have next week's electric tech with this week's and next week's electric singular. And if we put this all together, we can see next week, January 14th to January 21st in Sterile Land, Rockfall. This will be the place to farm, and it just so happens to be a great place to farm with Freyna, as you can see from the gameplay in the background. As for a farm you could start doing now, that will be Executioner. He is a easy kill and guaranteed to drop electric reactors, but be aware the chances of electric tech with a good roll are not great, but this will be a decent farm for now. A smart move would be to farm Magister Lab for Amorphous if you need to stack up on Catalyst blueprints. And now I would like to cover 3 very good Quantum Crystal farms. The first one is going to be in Kingston in the Grand Square. You are simply going to come over to this fusion reactor, start it up, and it takes about 20 seconds to complete, and you will get 750 quantum crystals for each completion, and if you get some reactors, you also will get a bit more. As for another great reactor farm is going to be, quantum crystal farm is going to be over here in White Knight Gulch, out the outpost in the mountaintops. You're going to use the Freyna method, the same one I showed you to farm the electric reactors. This is going to be the best for getting mats. This one has a ton of enemies when it starts up. So for quantum crystals and gold, this is a very, very good farm. And your third method is going to be Infernal Walker. This is going to be more of a endgame farm. If you have the ability to kill this very fast, you'll get about 2,500 to 3,000 quantum crystals for each completion. Next, and a quick one, is I would suggest having your Secret Garden fully upgraded with its unique ability, if not also fully upgraded with its mods. She is going to have tech skills, so it is very possible that this will be a very good weapon to have on her. Due to the ability Pest Control, it does have a 50% trigger rate, but it has a 10-second duration, stacks up to 3 times, adding 5% skill power and another 16% skill power per stack. Another quick tip I would like to bring in is that they did state that Ines will be obtainable running Hard Void Vessel, and Kaelin will be moved out of Hard Void Vessel. Something I'm going to be doing, though I am not 100% certain, is I'm going to be stacking up on these keys just in case some of the mats that we need to craft her are going to be coming from the chest that you need the keys for. And currently in the game, if you run one of these a day, you'll get an extra 6 keys in your mailbox. So I would suggest just at least run one a day and stack up on these keys. As for getting into some mats, this one's pretty obvious. If you plan on upgrading Ines, you are going to need crystallization catalysts. As for how many you think you're going to need, that's going to be up to you, how far you want to go with her. And of course, you will need one energy activator. Just a quick tip for a good crystallization catalyst farm that is also a decent reactor farm until next week is going to be Executioner. And the best way to get the amorphous material for him is to run Magister Lab. Of course, if we can get this on another 400% day, that would be great. But even just running it on 250% will net you a good amount of Morphous, and then you can go farm Executioner, get some electric reactors, and get some catalyst blueprints at the same time. And of course, it looks like Ines herself will be coming with a bunch of new Transcendent mods, and we are also not sure if we will be getting other Transcendent mods in general, but those take a lot of gold, and just upgrading mods in general takes a lot of gold. So let's cover two very good gold farms. One is going to be in hard special operations, the Kuiper Mine. This can net you anywhere from 2 million to 3 million gold per completion. And another farm that I already brought up is going to be the White Knight Gulch. In the mountaintops, the Outpost farm with Freyna. This also nets you a ton of gold due to how many enemies are spawning at the start of this. It is kind of broken in my opinion. And as for another and last suggestion, I would suggest collecting as many Transcendent modules as you can get, as this will be the best way to get the new Transcendent modules, and that is going to be combining your mods. So start stacking up on those as much as you can. And that'll do it for everything I can think of that would help with prepping for Ines. Any questions or suggestions, let me and the others know in the comments. Like and subscribe is appreciated. Thanks, guys. Peace.